Alright, so today is the first ride on the Panthera electric start. We're out here at Carnegie SVRA. Fuel on, choke on. Give it a couple stabs to warm the battery up, I guess. Fired right up. God, it's smoky. Not quite. Watch this. I can't believe it, man. That's so cool. That is so cool.
Alright, so you can see that I'm really excited for this electric start. It is working phenomenally right off the bat, but in a few seconds here we're going to see that I'm going to start having some issues. So let's get into those. So you can see right off the bat I'm having some issues with power, and you can hear that the bike is just not producing any power going up this hill in the mid-range. It gets up on top, runs really good on top, and then just falls flat when I come back to the mid-range. And that means I don't have any mid-range power, and I pretty much failed the hill climb. Now this is a hill climb that I usually take a few tries at anyway, so it's not a huge deal, but this needs to be fixed. So let's go ahead and talk about the problem, and let's show you what's going on. Alright, so what we have here is the power valve of a 2020 YZ250X, and this should be consistent with 05 through current models. And the symptoms we've had are that the bike gets onto the top end, feels normal, and then hangs on its transition to the low end and mid-range. It loses all its power, and then it'll kind of take a second and snap back. And what we discovered here after popping the cover off is that this stopper is binding on this piece. This is a piece that is common to break off, and if you search the forums you'll find pictures of this being broken off, and I'd wager that this is why. This piece here contacts this, puts a bending moment on that, and shears it off. It hasn't done that in this bike yet. The bike has 70 hours, and I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like when it operates normally, and then we'll get it stuck, and yeah, then we'll go from there. So here you can see the normal motion of the power valve, and then when we give it a quick turn, you're gonna see it get stuck right there. On camera. So there's a few issues that I've heard are common on the YZs. One is that this knuckle that you see on the top here that a pointer will be displayed on the screen pointing to, it can break off. And this makes sense if this mechanism gets bound up like this a bunch of times and you keep shock loading it like this, that this will break off. Now I've never heard of somebody having a power valve, except for one case on a forum, stick like this. So it's a little bit of a weird issue. And I tried two things. First thing I tried is sanding the actual two pieces down. So both edges I tried sanding down, and this made a difference, but it really wasn't the root of the problem, and I should have known that right from the beginning. The root of the problem here is that the power valve is actually dirty and sticking. And if you watch this in like a slowed down version, you can kind of see a hesitation as the power valve begins to return in, where it stays and wants to resist that spring, and that's where this happens. It locks up right away. So I think, you know, the sanding definitely helped. It made it almost impossible for it to lock up, but it was really cleaning the power valve really well. So that means disassembling this whole, all these power valve pieces and then putting them back in after giving them a good clean. That seemed to do it. And you can actually disassemble this whole part without taking off the cylinder. You do have to take off the radiators, but it really wasn't that big of a deal. And the biggest thing is you just have to be very careful with the Phillips head screws. So yeah, that's how I would suggest fixing this issue. Is first clean the power valve, then if you'd like, sand the two pieces. So let's take another listen to this hill climb and see if we can spot the issue so you guys know what exactly it sounds like. Right here. Not quite. So that was one instance of it where I was going up and the bike was running really good, and then it has that little hesitation. So let's wait for the second time. Alright, sounding really good. Trying to come down to the mid-range. And then an abrupt grossness. And then that abrupt change is really the signature. That's the power valve slipping off of its held up state, if you will. Now that we have the weird power valve issue explained and fixed, let's go ahead and do some good riding. Should be a lot more fun this time.
The engine's dead cold. Turn the choke on here and fire up.
So that was an incredible first stab at the button. Fired right up, and that's kind of what I've come to expect from the Panthera so far. Right away, I can tell that I've solved my issue, and this is going to be a great day. How lovely.
Oh, yeah. Bike's running good today. I think my power valve choices finally paid off. That bike sounds good.
So I'm going for this hill climb again, and I finally get a nice good drive through the corner here, although it's still not that great. And this new rut right there really made this hill a lot harder, but I get almost to the top and push it over for the kind of make. Not clean though.
There he is. Whew. It's steep right here.
Whew. Coming down this hill is a real doozy. It's so dry and slick out here today, and these hills are deceivingly steep.
been down it a ton of times before, but every time I wonder if I'm going to be able to stop before this corner here at the end. Good view of the fly racing goggles, or gloves. I should have a make me a set with the fly racing the other direction, eh? One of the craziest things about the E-Start is that I got used to it in like 10 minutes and I was reaching for it instantly. I think that really starting in these weird out of position places is where I'm going to appreciate it the most. And I've said it before, and I'll definitely stand behind the fact that you absolutely don't need an electric start bike to be riding hard enduro. I mean, look at Josh Ashburn on a 90 or an 85, 95, something like that, KDX, getting top 3 in these really tough, hard enduros. So the equipment is obviously not going to make you the star of the show, but having that is it's a lot of fun actually so far. Just opens up weird opportunities. This hill was pretty steep and loose, and I went for the little bonus line at the end there. That was a lot of fun, but couldn't quite get the last section up here. It's not that steep at all, but when you don't have any drive, it kind of shuts you down. Hi, Mark. It's a little dry and slippery today, geez.
Yes, there's no traction on that hill.
No, nothing.
How the hell you got up there?
I held her wide open.
What year was that?
Second.
Huh?
Second.
Only second?
Yeah, only second. So this is one of those hills that is just so steep that it really gets a little bit scary. And how I like to manage that is just kind of keep the bike a little bit perpendicular to the hill. Try and get the front and rear wheel sliding down the hill a little bit. That way you don't have to commit all the way down and you can feel out the traction. Then I'm just kind of fake bulldogging it with one leg out for some stability. Kind of working my way to the left along the hill and downhill. And then once I get to a spot where I'm comfortable, I'll go ahead and jump on and ride it the rest of the way out. It's really important to not get yourself in over your head. So if you're ever like super scared on a downhill, I mean, don't be afraid to bulldog it. I still do it all the time. It's a really good technique, and sometimes it can save you. Whoa, that's deep. Jeez.
Like that stuff?
I
Pretty nice.
didn't quite know how deep it was gonna be. My front wheel disappeared.
Nope. I never noticed that traverse trail. It's like an animal trail.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. You know it's deep right down there too.
Yeah. Not too bad. Oh no! Oh dude! It's still running? Ugh. I wonder if he just knows I came up here to film. That was the gnarliest little... He just like let his bike go to there, and then it tumbled every which way. Hope the camera caught it, I don't know. That's hilarious. Pride probably hurts a little bit after that one.
I figured, you know, parts on me cost more than parts on this.
I didn't think it was gonna tumble. You like let go of it and it like kind of went, and then it went the wrong way.
Boom! Never killed it though.
I noticed that.
I don't have the button, I can't kill it.
Not allowed. Not again, dude. Look at that. There are two kinds of slick, wet and dry. I don't know which one's worse. It is so slippery out here today. That really snotty wet stuff though, I mean, It can be really bad when it's snotty out here. Oh, thanks for leaving the rock there. Pop that. Sketchy.
So now that we've done some riding and you've seen that the Panthera electric start has been performing just flawlessly, I guess let's go ahead and talk about my impressions of the kit. So first off, the build quality seems really good. I went ahead and did the first oil change after this ride, and I pulled the cover off and there was no noticeable wear or anything like that. One thing that I'm going to talk about here in a few minutes is bending the clutch arm out. So that is something that I would recommend doing, and I'll go ahead and show a screenshot of when I was installing it to show what I mean. So aside from that, the kit seems to be doing really well. I haven't had any issues regarding the electric start. The one behavior that I find a little bit weird is that it doesn't just sit there and spin over. If you just want to like show it to your buddy in the garage, it's probably not going to work, and you're going to be sitting there a little red-faced and embarrassed. So it seems that you have to have the intention of starting it when you press the button, and then it fires right up. What I mean by that is you have to be like kickstarting it. So you have to crack the throttle a little bit, you have to have the gas on, choke on if it's really cold, and then you push the button, it starts right up, and it does not falter after that. So I'm not really sure what to say about that weird behavior. I think it's just the manner in which it operates, but I have been absolutely stunned by the performance so far. Now, of course, durability is a huge factor, especially when you're buying something this expensive. So I will be doing a 50 and 100 hour review video where I talk about any other failures I have, what it has done to my technique, if it has improved my performance at the races, etc. So definitely stay tuned, like, subscribe, follow me along on this channel. That way you can see those videos if you're really interested in this product.
Oh no! So close! Dude, that was a cool line though, right here. Yeah. You gotta go high and then drop in on it. Can you get out? What? Can you get out? Can I get out from here?
No, if you would have hit it right, would you have been able to ride it out?
Maybe. But you have to land on that, oh, bouncing bike. You gotta land on that, rut just right there. It's not big.
That was close, it was really, really close. Back in the bushes.
Oh geez. All good now. You in the bushes today, huh? Some cool stuff in here, geez.
Let's do some more riding, and then I will show that screenshot of the clutch arm bend that I recommend doing. That way you don't have any problem. That way you don't have any problems down the line.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to get up over there. That's steep as heck.
Yeah, it is.
That line that goes straight up is just like, what?
Oh, come on, you got it.
I don't know.
It's hella steep.
There's a bush murderer today. Like what? Alright, what an epic day on the bike. Panthera electric start is working great. Now let's go ahead and talk about the clutch arm bend that I mentioned earlier, which is the final modification that I'm hoping to do to the Panthera electric start. So right here you can see the clutch arm and the tine. And I've heard in a forum post that the tine can get ripped off. So here's an arrow that points to the tine. Now in order to fix this, we're going to bend the entire clutch arm. So there's an arrow here that's pointing to the actual arm that we're trying to give a bend to. Now how we're going to accomplish this is we're going to put a tire iron between the flywheel and gently bend the arm out. You don't really want to be bending the upper U-shaped or the tine. The tine is fine, just leave it clamped down over the retaining the cable. We just want to put in a bend out towards the counter shaft on the arm, and the arm is that kind of triangular, rounded off on the edges shaped object. After you do this, there should be like 1/8 of an inch of clearance, like a 1/16 of an inch of clearance between the magnet, the widest part of the flywheel, and any part of the clutch arm. So you just don't want it to touch it at any point, and then you'll be set to go. Wow, what an amazing day on the bike. Super stoked on the Panthera electric start. I was giggling from joy at a lot of times from being able to start my bike at the press of a magic button. So go ahead and give a subscription if you'd like to see the progress of the Panthera over its lifetime. And I've got a lot of really cool hard enduro content coming out soon, centered around the AMA West Extreme series. So go ahead, give a follow, like, subscribe, share, anything you want, and we'll see you out on the trails.